my background is I've been involved with the unmanned team since been doing unmanned since 2015, and geospatial. The unmanned aircraft out there is not going to be able to use CMRX corrections. All right, so back to the FIQ. They'll be using RTCM 3.1, 3.2, or 3MSM, something that's RTCM based, okay? So if you know that and looking at your map, and again, we're role playing it out of Bozeman, I'm going to use MTSU, and I would want to, because I'm operating in Bozeman. Now, let's just say again, if you were operating out here, it would be a different story because now there's nothing out here yet, and you would have to try to get a real-time corrections from the last working station outside the net. Not ideal, and so what we're about ready to show you is typically used in these quadrants up here: northeast, north central, northwest, southwest, and south central today. Okay. So with that said, and following the protocols here of either FTP_3, or if I zoomed up here so people are seeing that, or FTP multi-station, which is 3.4, though that the mount would have been MTSU_3 or MTSU_MSM, and it is case sensitive. Or I'm going to use a multi-station mount, and that's what we did for a DJI drone. You would have to test these with your drone to understand if it's working. So just understand what we're trying to say to you. I'm using a DJI platform, and so whether it was an M350 RTK or M3E RTK, you could do what I am going to do in this video now. If you're using some other aircraft, we would encourage you to talk to whoever you bought your drone from, and they should be able to help you. We can definitely help you. Anything purchased from FPI Unmanned through Kyle and myself. So with that said, I'm going to launch a DJI platform here. So in this case, I was using DJI Pilot 2 for a Mavic 3 Enterprise, but understand this same interface would be required for an M3, any R2K drone from DJI to provide real-time corrections to a drone. Now, we would tell you that does not mean that you don't need any GCPs on the ground. It is only allowing you to maybe minimize the amount of GCPs and also fly with higher degree of precision, which is great when flying with LiDAR, especially, so you can keep your 3D position more accurate. And so if you're flying, for example, at 70 meters for LiDAR, it would stay consistent at 70 meters because it's following a digital elevation model versus not flying real time, and it's plus or minus 10 meters plus flying 70 meters, okay? This drone has to be connected to the internet, and it was connected up here. You can see in the very top using Wi-Fi from a hotspot. However, like I mentioned, Data Activation Center can provide you a SIM card for your DJI remote. I'm going to keep on playing here, and you're going to hit enter camera view typically. There's lots of ways to get to the settings. I'm just showing you the easiest way was just to go hit enter camera view instead of trying to launch a mission to get to the pre-flight check, to close that out, to get into the settings. So close that out. And now I'm going to hit the ... up top to be able to get into some settings. And I'm going to roll all the way down where it shows the satellite. And that's where you set all the real-time settings up for a DJI drone. Now, whatever manufacturer you're using would have some interface where you can plug in these similar credentials, right? I'm only showing you one particular manufacturer. So way up top, the first thing you're going to do is going to have to turn on RTK positioning. So as soon as I run that slider, both of them get turned on. And then that would have been set by default to no network or none. And then we're not using a DRTK, we're using a custom network. So you're going to choose custom. And then you would have 5 configurations available to you, okay? Now, you can see, I'm going to pause here. I've already got one to go to an R980 using a built-in SIM automatically. I've got one set up to do an R980 using Wi-Fi. But now I'm going to show you how to use the MSRTN, which is very awesome. So now my controller doesn't have to be close to my base, and I can fly with my drone, keep line of sight with my drone because I know I have cellular. Now, again, I'm bringing that up because there is no magic. You have to have cellular. So you can't fly this drone with the MTSRN in a non-cellular environment and expect to get any corrections. So with that said, I'm going to modify one of these configurations. I believe it was configuration number 1 or 5. And when you pick it, you have to roll down to the bottom, and then you'll have to hit edit. And when I hit edit, then you got to kind of roll back up and give it a name. And I would encourage you to give it a name that's intelligent, MTSRN per the region, or MTSRN single base, whatever you got to do. And that way, when you're moving around the state, you might have to make some slight changes to the mount point, right? Because that's important. So in this case, we just called it MTSRN. The NTRIP address would be that 213.134. And again, here's where we have people make mistakes. They had a typo and they don't catch it, and that's why it's not working. 3.23.213.134, and I triple checked it. The port is 2101, and the account is that username, okay? And so again, a typo here and nothing works. And depending on your software manufacturer, but DJI will tell you a good job. You will not be able to save this, folks, if you have a typo. It won't save, okay? So if your credentials aren't right, it won't allow you to save it. And that tells you that either your IP's wrong, your port's wrong, your account's wrong, your password's wrong, or your mount name's wrong. So here I typed in the password and I made a typo, so I had to go back, make sure I see it. The mount point matters. It's case sensitive. And so in this case, you'll see that I'm going to use an MTSS underscore RTCM. I would recommend doing this for drone operators because that'll find the closest single base and it works with this software, so your miles will use it. So that is like a trick right there. That MTSS is a single base dynamic. So as you move with your drone, it's going to find the closest single base for you. So why not use that for you? Now, could I mount directly to MTSU underscore 3? Sure, you could. And but I'm recommending with DJI platforms this method. So here you can see I'm double checking my username and the mount, and then I hit save. As soon as I hit save, you'll notice it says not connected. And now watch that not connected say it's converging. If you roll up here, you notice the icon's red up there, meaning it's not hot yet, not getting real-time corrections. That will be white. It used to be green. I wish they would be green and red like it used to be. It just goes from red to white, which is not intuitive. Green was right in your face. So I'm going to hit the dot, dot, dot. I would recommend you do that because that way you can drop back down and see when this says converging and connected. Now I'm going to pause here just for a second. When folks make these changes, and you can see it turn connected already, Sometimes you actually have to shut the DJI bird down and your controller and reconnect. I just know that I did not have to here. We were hot video recording this, but just know that I have seen that I plugged this in, and all you needed to do is reboot the bird and reboot the controller, and then again make sure the controller's got internet, and then everything went hot. So understand that um, that doesn't happen when it's been working, only when you freshly keyed it in. But you can see it says connected here, and I'll keep on playing here, and now you notice it's white, 23 satellites, and there would have been an audible that says, you know, RTK enable, and you're ready to fly. It was a beautiful Montana day, snowing, and because winter was coming, and uh, that's that's how easy it is to get a drone uh, running with the value of the Montana State network.